Good morning and welcome to Badshot Lee Big Pond, run by Farnham Angling Society. It's the last day of February and it's freezing cold. In fact, when I got to the gates there was a carp angler trying to get in because the locks were frozen and I had to get the flask to it. That's how cold it is. Really hard ground frost, bright blue skies, no wind, not exactly what you would say are ideal bream conditions, but I'm not here to catch some fish. I'm going to do a little bit on Watercraft and answer a question that Jake Brandt, one of my customers, sent me about, when do I start bream fishing. I'll come to that later on. Hopefully a fish or two will turn up. I did go out on Monday and have a very quick bream from another lake, so they are waking up. Well, that really didn't take long at all. 2 rods cast out, clipped up, and within 10 minutes right hand rods drop back and we're into a bream. A bit lively, water's cold so they tend to be lively. Drop back, typical sort of bream out of this lake, out of Stillwater Back Lake, about £7 probably. But what way to start, just shows you if you get your conditions right. It might be wet, but you get those rods out in the right conditions and you'll catch bream even in February. This is just a little bit about Watercraft, me getting out, getting some fresh air, and hopefully, as I said, a fish or two will come. So I'll leave a couple of links at the end of the video for those bream videos on, how I go about targeting bream in the spring, about the helicopter rigs, mixing bait up, accurately fishing, etc. So yeah, hopefully it's good. The bobbins are bleep a couple of times. I'm going to be casting every sort of 20 minutes and hopefully come 11 o'clock, if nothing's happened by 12, I'll be going home. Well, I've just made my second cast. As I said, there's a procedure I always run through when I get here fishing. Oh, thought that was a bite. It was a swan just clipping the line as it went past. The only difference I do to my normal bream fishing when I know, later in the year, let's say from mid-March onwards, is I haven't put any bait out with the big feeder. I think what we're doing here was just fishing for one bite, gauging how the session works, and then just, if I just constantly cast every sort of 20 minutes, I'm hoping just to put that in front of a fish's nose like I did earlier in the week. So yeah, don't go piling the bait in at this time of year. But amazingly, we have seen, and I say we because Daryl's next door again, where we have seen a few fish move out there, but they're not what we're after bream. I think there might even be cats up in the surface for some reason, so very strange. But any fish moving means they're going to be feeding, hopefully, and it gives you that little bit of confidence that one of those bobbins are bleep and a bream or two will turn up sometime this morning. We're about an hour and a half in now and I think I've cast the rods out 5 times. Can't fish any more accurately than what I am. The elastic stop knots on the line are within sort of 6-8 inches every cast, but conditions, as I mentioned earlier, are as bad as they can get, but it's just good to be out. I mentioned about a customer making a comment the other day, and it's always nice when I get comments on the videos that I do. Keep them coming, please hit that subscribe button and give us the thumbs up. But the comment that Jake Brandt made was when I sent out details for my guiding sessions for bream this coming spring, and I said I'd be taking bookings from mid-March to the end of April. And he made a very good question, a very good point, is like, do you really start bream fishing and targeting bream so early? Because he is going to be fishing on a very, very big pit. And he said, that just seems mega early. And I sent a reply back to him, and let me just explain. The reason I start mid-March is the lakes that I'm fishing are a lot smaller, they're a lot shallower, and and so they warm up that much quicker than a big deep lake. I used to fish a big pit down in Chichester called West Hampnett. It was around 50 acres and it was 20-25 foot deep when it was filled up. And it's just a big venue, a big vast, you know, piece of water. And the best time to target bream down there, the best month I found, was May, whereas on these smaller waters I find April's better. And I really do believe that, you know, the length of the days, we're gaining every day 4 minutes, I think it is. And fish know, they've got a body clock, they know when the water's going to warm up, when they're going to go into that spawning. And on the venues I'm fishing this spring, they are normally spawning first week in May. So I take all my bookings mid-March and April, because I know that those bream are going to be going on a really good munch, feeding up for that ritual that happens early May. Whereas on the bigger waters, they're going to be maybe a month behind. So yeah, I would probably start looking at really targeting my bream. I'd be on the water in March, but more at the end of March. Seriously thinking of getting some results mid-April, with May being really, really good. So Jake, thanks for that question. I hope that everybody pretty much understands. It's just knowing your venue, having that watercraft, and you know how things tick over the course of the year. Well, it's just coming up to 11 o'clock. 3 hours fishing and I have not been able to get a single bleep. I've seen a few fish move out there, so I'm always confident. The rigs I'm using are spot on. I know that if a bream comes along and picks those 3 maggots up, it's going to pretty much find that hook in the bottom lip. But it doesn't matter. I'm pretty sure there's loads and loads of bream out there. They're just not feeding. We have seen some fish move, which was encouraging, and I am quite surprised that the bobbin hasn't actually moved. But it just goes to show that, or prove that the saying that a good day for fishing is a bad day for catching is spot on. It's been beautiful. End of February, last day of February actually, hard ground frost, hardly a cloud in the sky, a little northwest wind. That's about the only thing we've got going for us today, is a little bit of wind from the west, but very slight and really, really high atmospheric. So I just wanted to prove the point that if you come out on a day like this, then don't expect to catch many fish, if any. I went out earlier in the week, as you saw, the conditions were a lot better, and still could only manage 1 bream. So it's a little bit early at the moment, but coming out today has been great. I know I've got to change my battery in one of those alarms because it's bleeping at me. I've also had a little kind of like cast around with a feeder, because this lake can get, or is getting, very, very weedy even this early in the year. So I need to find those clear spots, so when I do my guiding sessions and have a few customers come down, I'm not having to move around to find those spots. They've already been located. So got my casting going. It takes a little bit even for me to get those casting and get that feeder going out, hitting the clip and fishing accurately. I'm going to go home now and just stock up on all those little items ready for a couple of weeks' time when the bream will really be getting their heads down. So unfortunately, you know, sometimes you have to come out on the days like today. I could have gone to the river this morning, maybe caught a chub, but I looked at the river way yesterday and it was horrible colour. We had a lot of rain last Sunday and Wednesday, and I'd much rather be on the rivers fishing for pike on the Avon, or even getting the boat out on the Thames and fishing for zander. But I don't think there's going to be any chance of that now till next, you know, later in the year. So nice to come out, get down on one of my local lakes, you know, get that routine going, fish well. A couple of fish would have been nice, but that's the way it goes. So hope you liked the video, learnt a little bit from it, and next time hopefully I'll be dragging in a few fish, netting a few fish, and showing you just how good the helicopter rigs are and how effective it is to fish really accurately. There are going to be a few links at the end about accuracy, clipping up, marking up. I've also learnt I need to get my left hand thumbnail longer, because clipping up without any fingernails is a nightmare. So yeah, if you fancy coming out guiding, you know, having a day bream fishing, tench fishing, or you know, catfish, barbel, chub, anything, just there's the email below. send me an email and I'll send you all the details you need to know. So, yeah, still early in the year, a little bit early, but a great day to be out.